Welcome back to Sacred Success Salon, where we are speaking with our amazing experts about where we are, where we're going as humanity, and our role in downloading and channeling the solutions and technologies for the new earth. I am your host, Anna Kowalska, and today I'm really excited to reintroduce you to our returning guest in the salon, and an amazing, amazing human being, Lotus Sky. Hello, Lotus Sky.
Aloha and mabuhay, everyone. It's happy to be here again.
So excited to have you. So a couple words about who Lotus Sky is. You can get the rest of her background and her bio under the video. Lotus Sky is a musical channel, shamanic guide, and just a beautiful all-around expression of where humanity is going. That's how I see you, Lotus Sky. What you have created, what you have shifted through, your background combined with the work that you do is just such an example of where we are moving to. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, so let's speak to that.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Let's begin a little bit with your journey, because the work that you do, mixing your music with shamanic work, it may seem so natural to you and maybe even some other people, but to a lot of people who are awakening to what's happening on planet Earth, coming from very traditional roles and now journeying into healing, that is uncommon.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. Like I'm Lotus Sky. I'm a musical channel and shamanic guide, and I have a very unique life. I say that I'm looking outside here in the beautiful island of Hawaii in the Hawaiian forest and my beautiful cabin home, and just being able to be myself, and create the space for me to express myself. But I wasn't like that prior. I was very much in the matrix, wanting to win at life and crossing out the check boxes of what it was like to be a success or to succeed or to win. And some of that is driven by survival. I think a lot of people in kind of the old paradigm that we're leaving now, people are driven by survival, a need for validation and belongingness, and security. Like these things are what drives a lot of our decisions. Even in our relationships or the job that we have or the places that we live in, there's a need to belong. There's a need to feel validated, and there's a need to survive and feel secure. So where more people are very bent to living according to the status quo, because status quo says, if you do these things, if you align in this way, then you will belong and you will be secure. And that's how I think a lot of people take that to the extreme and kind of give their power away, as we see, to governments, to dogmas, to indoctrinations of certain sorts. And it takes a lot of courage, I would say, if you really want to create the new earth, to be able to challenge that, to be able to challenge what feels like security for you, or what feels like a belongingness for you. Because I think for people who desire to create the new earth, they feel different inside. We're a little different. And I'm not saying we're more special. I think everybody is special and unique, but the ones who feel called to create something new are more in touch with how different they are. And that makes it kind of special, but it also can make it kind of scary. Can make it kind of lonely. I'm speaking to this from at least my own perspective and my own journey. But I think whether or not you're like a queer shaman, you probably, if you feel like you're a new earth leader, you probably feel that there's something different about you compared to other people who are fine, going through the motions. They're fine going through the motions. So I share that is that to create a new life and to create a life that's in alignment with your purpose, and your purpose in alignment with the greater trajectory of this planet, of the earth, and for our collective, it does require you to, or invite you, I don't want to make it all sound scary and stuff, but it does invite you to have the courage to go outside the box and to think outside the box. Now, here's the thing. I see a lot of people kind of going from one box and putting themselves in another. I could have put myself out of the tech box and put myself under the regular life coach box, and that would have been fine as well. That would have been one level better, closer to my purpose. And for me, and I think this is going to be true for many other people, is that you have that unique way that you do that, what you do. You can say that, you know, Lotus Sky is like an artist and a life coach. You can say that. In fact, that, you know, that's probably the best way to describe it to someone who doesn't know what a shamanic guide is.
Yeah.
But the way that I have been able to create, you know, the way that my purpose gets to be expressed is quite creative, you know? And I think for people, it'll be like that for you. Whatever that means for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need, if you're a chef or a nurse or a librarian, doesn't mean that like you need to quit your job, you know, per se. Maybe there's a way that you get to be expressed in that role.
Yeah.
The way that you connect to your purpose through that role, that gets to come through. It's not to say that you need to go and live and be a shaman, you know, you go live in a forest or a cave and be a shaman in order to be a new earth leader. Like the idea here is that you get to be embodied in the new earth leader concepts, even in your life. And if you don't like what you're doing, then that's the invitation for you to actually leave what feels like comfort and security to step into your purpose.
Yeah. This is so great, because what you are talking about, it's exactly what the theme that has come through so far in this salon is this idea that we don't have to completely leave everything. That if you are in a certain industry or you have a certain set of skill set, you can bring yourself, the part of you that knows that you are a new earth leader, that you are awakened, that there is a different way of life, and you actually can be a channel for a new solution because you know how things are done, you know that the technology of it, right? And now you can apply it in a new way that is unique, that only you can, and without you perhaps, or you collaborating with other people, this new technology, this new way couldn't exist. So beautiful.
Yeah. And that's what I really love, and I'm very passionate about my work. You know, I could have just been a musician, like an artist, and just sang about heartbreak and, you know, partying and, you know, feeling good and drive, you know, like all of the very common themes that you would see across popular music, like partying, heartbreak, falling in love, having a good time, being angry, like, you know, all of those popular things. Like I could have just kind of used my talents for, you know, fun and personal gain and creative exploration. But you know, the reason why I chose this is because how I wanted to use my gifts was to be of benefit, to move our consciousness forward. So this is what I find in people who do my Earth Warrior School or my Earth Warrior Way work or my retreats, is that that's what I'm passionate about. It's like you have your zone of genius where you are at. You're just transforming the way that you operate in the space that you're at, or you transform where you are at. I have people who are nurses, professors, architects, tech leaders, you know, teachers, middle school teachers, who are, number one, transforming who they are in their day-to-day, their own personal leadership, and then transforming how they show up in their dharma. And whether you're just changing the way you show up in the role that you are in right now, you elevate it, you know, you transform it, or you change what you're doing, and it naturally is just you following your next excitement, your next calling. And maybe it could be a career change, maybe you are starting a business. Ultimately, here's what I'll say with this work, twofold. It is your personal transformation first and foremost as a new earth leader, and what that really means. And you know what that means? It means you working through your triggers. It means you learning how to regulate yourself during these times. It means you learning how to be kind to yourself as you're stretching. It also means you learning how to handle more of life, because that's what leadership is, right? It's funny, I'll tell you right now, right before our call, I'm leaving for Peru in like a week and a half. I have a retreat in Sedona 2 weeks when I get back from Peru, you know, which is great. And like today, a week and a half before leaving for Peru, there's all of these things that are coming up for my travel, with my dog who needs surgery, with some all these tasks.
Yeah.
And more so that I'm used to. I'm gonna tell you that more so that I'm like used to, and I sat down my reset and I thought, are you punishing me, God? Like, what's going on here? Are you punishing me, Spirit? It's I don't actually believe that Spirit is punishing me, but I said it in jest. But here's what Spirit said. Spirit said, I don't have the straight words, but let me see if I can find the good words for it. Spirit says, said, this is just a part of you elevating your purpose. Yeah. It requires you to be able to handle more and be in your center throughout all of the things, and so you'll be stretched to see how, your level of equilibrium through all of the challenges, and your ability to just handle it like a boss, and I really appreciated that reminder from Spirit, because we think that in order to accomplish our next thing, there shouldn't be any
challenges,
contrast. Any contrast, anything like any self-doubt or those are signs that I'm not on the right path. And it's like, no, actually, like, you think of people who are presidents of countries or presidents of
large companies,
corporation. You think about these people who are presidents of countries, like the level of dynamics that they need to balance out requires a level of leadership and self-belief. And I have got this, and I'm going to show forward. I'm not going to give in to overwhelm. I'm going to show up for the moment.
Yeah.
That's leadership. So you cultivating that within yourself. That's why I do my spiritual retreats. That's why I do my Earth Warrior work. That's why I share my empowering music. That's why I do that's how you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Is you developing your own spiritual self-mastery, your own leadership. That means your connection to God, your ability to balance your yin and yang energies, your ability to recalibrate your emotional and mental self, your ability to tune into your inner wisdom, your ability to tap into your inner confidence. Like, these are all of these qualities that are so needed within us. And sometimes that's a healing journey. That's a cultivating journey. It could be a challenging journey sometimes. I think it's actually quite magnificent. I like to call things challenging, magnificent. And then from there, from your own development, how that is expressed in your service, what is interacting with life. What life is showing you to show up for.
Yeah, this is so great. I'm so glad you're speaking to this, because you're absolutely right. Most of the time people could say, oh, wow, maybe you shouldn't be doing this retreat. Maybe you should cancel it because things are coming up. I'm just using it as an example. You're on the wrong path. Don't do it, right? Meanwhile, most of the time, in my experience too, and I'm glad that you're saying you actually asked, you took a second and you asked, right? You said it in a joking way, are you punishing me? But what I heard was actually asking, like, what is it showing me? And what it's showing you is, like, we up leveling your capacity.
Exactly. You're expanding your capacities. Like, you want to, it's interesting. It's like, you wanted to be a leader, you wanted to be of service, but you don't want to be faced with issues.
Yes.
I don't understand. So, it's a,
it's, I think it's so important, especially where we are right now, because those who are awakened, we will be called to a bigger capacity. And especially if we are to channel a solution or technology or some new way to do life on our planet Earth, which is what I believe we are doing, we have to be able to handle all the breakdowns of the old. I mean, this is not going to go away tomorrow. We're not going to wake up, and it's going away. The challenges that are happening for humanity will be happening for a while. So can we, the ones that have tools, stand in the face of it, and our own challenges in life, things coming up, like dogs needing surgery and stuff like that, right? Usually takes people out, but can I still proceed even though these things are happening?
It is a balancing. It's a constant rebalancing act to tune into what your level of endurance is as well, right? Because there are some people who may have pushed themselves way too hard in their dharma, or not their dharma, their chapter, the cycle that they're in, is to rest and reflect.
Yeah.
you know, and that could be very challenging for someone who's so used
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
pushing through, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm in a certain situation where that's not the case. My dog is in an emergency, you know. I am leaving for Peru, you
Mm-hmm.
know. The retreat is 2 weeks after. So in this situation, my choice, and when I'm gauging my own energy level, when I'm gauging my capacity, it's like, okay, what that means is tightening my energy. What that means is making sure I'm nourishing myself well and being very strict about my sleep schedule so that I can actually show up when I'm awake for the moment. What that means is preparation and releasing all distractions, you know? Um,
Mm.
no, for real, like as like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna move through all of the things I'm moving through, that means that um uh I need to really dial everything in. That's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And be able to resource myself to show up for the moment. So my nourishment has been extra good. My spiritual practice and quick recalibrations have been extra good. Um, my ability to ask for support on the things that I get to delegate has been good. It's me showing up for the moment. But that's where I'm at right now. You know,
Yeah.
now when I get back from all of that and my presence in that, well, I really honor the seasons. When I get back in December, it's going to be winter time and that's going to be my rest time. So I understand the bigger picture of it all and I make intentional choices. I'm not being dragged by the feet of life,
Yeah.
which is what happens when you're in overwhelm. When you talk about success and leadership and your earth leadership,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not letting myself get all overwhelmed and dragged by the foot of life. I'm making actual choices that are very intentional, that assess the situation. That's kind of a very masculine trait, isn't it? Right? Like
Mm.
being able to assess a situation, see the landscape of things and make a proper
Yeah.
strategy moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's the high masculine. Talk about, you
Yes.
know,
Mm-hmm.
high masculine, high
Yeah.
feminine in
Yeah.
the earth warrior work. Now that's important. And then there's the feminine aspects. And the feminine aspect is more of that nourishing
Yeah.
self, the compassionate self, the intuitive self, um, the receptive self, the
Mm-hmm.
ability to receive and to feel supported. You have that kind of, I would say, divine father, divine mother energy
Mm-hmm.
within you.
Yeah.
Um, you're good. You know what you need to do because
Yeah.
some days, like uh, I slept late last night because I was taking care of a few things before I leave for a gig in Oahu, um, Pride Festival. They're gonna be so interested. It's gonna be so fascinating for me to come in my shamanic, my musical channel self in a Pride Festival, but it's gonna be very interesting when I perform. But uh I said normally I would wake up at sunrise. I'm going to sleep in because my
Mm-hmm.
first call is not until 10,
Mm-hmm.
and I was good with that. I made that choice because I guess you can say divine mother energy said this would be good for you.
Yeah.
And then my divine father energy said, yeah, actually logistically that would make sense.
Yeah.
You see my
This
point?
is,
Yeah.
yeah, this is so great. So I'll tell you how I'm hearing this. There is this level of discernment, and a discernment comes in the way that I'm hearing it right now. Like sometimes we talk about discernment and it's like, should I be doing this thing or not? But what I'm hearing is like, this is what I'm already committed to. I love that you are talking about this. This is what I'm already committed to. And I know this is the right thing for me to do. Now, what do I need to move through it most powerfully as my most authentic self?
Yes, exactly. I love how you talked about commitment and knowing that it's the right thing to do. Our decisions are powerful when we decide, okay, based on what I'm seeing, this is the way forward. I'm committing to this, you
Mhm.
know? So, what is the best way for me to move forward powerfully, authentically, and in a very regulated and centered way?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. I think it's going to be really important. So right before we hit record, I asked you where you want to go, and you said, I would love to also talk about where we are going. What is it that you see for people? And with our rest, time is going by so fast, but I would
Mhm.
love to make sure that you have an opportunity to voice your vision for what you see as a channel.
where we're going as a collective.
Yeah, as a collective. Yeah.
This is a big one. And I'm one of those people that I really believe in my role in creating a utopic Earth and doing the best that I could do for it, even if it means that I won't be able to live to see the result fully, you know? I
Oh,
think
this is yeah, go on.
yeah. And those are not my words, by the way. A lot of people have, I got, that was inspired by what someone else said. Another very spiritual mystic, I forget the name, but being willing to put in the work, even though you won't necessarily see the result, you know?
Yeah.
And the unrests that are happening, and not just the unrest, but the conflict and the death, you know? We see in Maui after the fire, the people of Maui and Hawaii standing up to
the establishment.
the establishment, and questioning and demanding a new way, another way. You see, Hawaii is heavily reliant on tourism, but the style of their tourism is extorting of the resources versus reciprocity. I'm not anti-tourism. This is a beautiful land. People should experience it, and there should be a reciprocity in the way that it's experienced, rather than a weird exchange relating to mostly white people visiting native land, you know? It feels very that's a whole exploitive. Yeah, let's just say it. It's exploitive and catering too. You know, it's like a, hey, come, please give us your money and we'll give you all the luxuries kind of thing. And we're so lucky to have your tourism. Thank you. There needs to be a different relationship there. So I think there's you know, we're seeing this in the terrible things that are happening in the Middle East, you know, with Israel and Palestine, and the nuances, but also the risk or the suffering, the harm that can be created through dogma, you know, and separation, you know, and the level of consciousness that a dogmatic faith, being dogmatic in your own religious beliefs, making an other, you know, othering the other, is just is an old pattern, an old deathly pattern, you know, and how so much is needed to transcend that. And so you're seeing, you know, people rise up. You're seeing, you know, you're seeing people rise up. You see, you know, the march in DC, where there were I think over 1,000 Jews that were calling for a ceasefire, you know, and just a breaking free of old paradigms of relating to one another as another. So what this feels like is a recommunion to the one family. What does that mean? One family means unity in our diversity. The one family also means not just the one human race, but also our oneness with the earth, right? That allows us to be stewards of each other and of nature, right? And shifting, you know, especially with all the climate change, you know, that you're seeing, and the disasters are going, natural disasters going on, in awakening to how we get to live. Here's the thing. Here's the most important thing of all. When you are stuck in the busy survival energy, oh, that's so terrible. I need to feed my kids. I need to pay my bills, blah, 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 blah. And you're narrowing your vision only to that you don't think that you are a contribution to that someone else should take care of it. You're contributing to it. So wherever you are at in this process, it will require of you, like as much as it's expanding of me as well, it will require of you to feel and to know that you are capable and supported, and you are thriving, and you are powerful. You know, you knowing that you're not just a pawn in a bigger game, you are part of the work. You are that we need. We are that we need. And so awakening to that love in action, that earth warrior energy. I've been talking about earth warrior for effing years.
Yes.
In 2020, I've been saying next 5 to 7 years. You think the pandemic is the first thing that's going to happen? The only thing? No, this is the beginning. This is why we're doing this, you know? So, that spirit, that warrior spirit, that the warrior, the heart warrior, you know, enlivening that, moving through that. That's what I see is awakening within us. You get to do it in your own actions, in the way that you embody the new earth and the leader within you in whatever capacity it looks like for you. And starting to relate to each other as the one family.
Yeah.
We will see the world shift, you know, because people are speaking up. So you have the power to speak up through your words and your actions.
So beautiful. Wow. And the one, not the only thing, but the thing that I want to pull forward, because I've been experiencing it myself, I've been hearing it in the spirit, is, am I willing to put the work into it, even though I may not see it, the results of it in this incarnation? I am laying the foundation, and I believe that all of us are. So I love that you brought that into the conversation, because people, I think, sometimes think that, well, okay, fine, I'm gonna do the work, but things better change fast for me. Like money better come in, or life better look this way, things better get easier. And I think that we chose to be at this time on the planet Earth as the ones who are ushering the next era, not necessarily living it to the full extent that we know is possible.
Yeah.
Be willing to be a
I love what you said. That was just so beautiful, you know, because I think sometimes people, it's not entitlement per se. I think, again, it's survival.
Yes.
It's survival rooted in scarcity, you know, but like, again, the feminine aspect of receptivity, if you're open to receive, if you're open to be guided by spirit, if you're really embodying the spiritual practice, and you're really moving forward in that, life will align. It will align. It is aligning. That's just a mechanism of life. If you're walking in alignment and moving forward in that alignment, in your spiritual connection, listening, acting, doing the things, you know, if you're doing that, life will align. It might not align in the way the ego insists it to be, but it will align in a way that will be best for you. And you're going to start to recalibrate what really matters for you. How many of you have accomplished something that you really always wanted to, and then when you accomplish that, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I've been there. I'm like,
yeah, I've been there too. You know, and how many of you, you know, actually realize that there are other things that actually make you feel rich in life, you know? So understand, like, life will align to what will best serve you to fulfill your purpose and for you to fulfill, to experience fulfillment, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Lotus Sky. I felt so much, the best way I can say it is release for people to understand that, you know what, your ego may have a vision for what things, how things should look, but trust that it will align. Your power, in a way, when you were saying it will align, it will align, it will align, I am intending that people actually receive it. It will align. Just trust it. So great. Oh, I know you have a gift for our audience. I know I'm like, I feel like we just started the conversation. It's going to get juicier, and our time is coming to an end. So I know you have a gift. Could you tell us what it is?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this gift. This is part of a series of the 7-day Gaia Chakra rebalancing experience. So if you've resonated with this talk, If you've been curious about my work as a musical channel, this is a root chakra meditation and activation, rebalancing experience.
Mhm.
I have to be careful of my lexicon because you don't activate chakras, you rebalance them.
Mhm.
And it involves a teaching, a meditation, and a beautiful musical channeling to rebalance the root chakra, involving shamanic instruments, channeling, as well as solfeggio frequency. It works to bypass the mind and go straight to the heart to do the work. It's very, very beautiful. It's part of a 7-part series, and I'm giving you guys the root part of that. And it's very important foundationally, for what we're moving through in this transformation. So enjoy.
Ooh, I'm excited for it. So beautiful. So make sure you click the button below the video, claim the gift, and allow yourself the experience that I cannot wait to have. I actually have access to this and I haven't even tried it yet. I am so doing it right after our call because I'm excited for it. So make sure you click the button, be in a beautiful space that Lotus Sky creates, rebalance your root chakra. I agree with you. It's one of the most beneficial places for us to it's the foundation also. It's so beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Lotus Sky. You do such a beautiful work in the world, so I really appreciate your generosity to come and share your wisdom here. Thank you
for your power and your fire and doing this work as well. Until next time.
Thank you. Bye. See you at the next conversation.